most and what they demand of their leaders is not to be of a certain orientation, over a certain race or a certain religion or anything. They want to see courage. They want to know that the leader can step up and speak the truth when it needs to be spoken. And I speak the truth for all of these other people who cannot speak up for themselves. And that's what they respect. So there's no negative impact. When people can be honest about themselves, there's always a positive impact.
Lieutenant Dan Choi, you have had a heck of a year.
It's been quite a year.
It's been quite a year.
And I've seen so many activists throughout the entire country and so many organizations that do so many wonderful things. And I knew that when I was on that fence, I was not alone.
Yeah.
Robin McGehee, somebody who was so inspiring in all of her life, she handcuffed me to that fence. And when I had those chains on me, on my waist, and the fetters and the shackles on my legs, for the first time I knew that on the outside it matched what was on the inside, having to live in the closet and to suffer through don't ask, don't tell. And I see so much of these people that just step up and say, you know what, I am somebody, and I deserve full equality. And that's what we intend to fight for.
Dan Choi, congratulations on everything you've accomplished so far. I look forward to seeing you under different circumstances sometime soon. Thanks.
Thank you.
Behold a news miracle. The group of state attorneys general who are suing the federal government to stop health reform has been joined by a new ally. Their new ally is Orly Tates, the queen of the birther movement, the California dentist who keeps filing lawsuit after lawsuit after wow, that's crazy lawsuit, alleging that President Obama is secretly foreign and therefore secretly isn't really president. Orly Tates has filed a newly amended complaint in one of her many birther lawsuits. As you can see in this copy of the complaint obtained by Talking Points memo, her new anti-health reform crusade is titled Violation of Commerce Clause and of Plaintiff's Rights to Gainful Employment as a Doctor of Dental Surgery upon Defendant's Imminent Signing of the Health Bill. See, the defendant is the foreign pretender president, Barack Hussein Obama, and by signing the health reform bill, he's somehow depriving Orly Tates of her constitutional right to practice dentistry when she's not busy getting her lawsuits against the president thrown out of courts. Orly Tates joining the lawsuits against health reform is just about perfect. The 14 state attorneys general who have filed lawsuits against health reform, like Orly Tates, have no reasonable expectation that these lawsuits will succeed. There is nothing illegal about health reform, and nobody really seriously believes that there is. But the fact that these lawsuits have no hope of succeeding doesn't mean they're not worth doing. Pointless lawsuits, like lots of otherwise pointless things in politics, can be used for fundraising. The Virginia Republican Party, for example, now making a fundraising appeal on the basis of the fact that that state's Republican Attorney General is suing the government over health reform. Quote, as soon as the ink dried on President Obama's signature, Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli filed a lawsuit in federal court. As you might imagine, the Democrats are a little worried about Attorney General Cuccinelli's lawsuit. Really? Friends, there is a lot at stake. The Attorney General is moving forward with his lawsuit. We need your help. I hope you will make your Victory 2010 donation right now. He's suing. Isn't that awesome? Send us money. No, the suit's not going to do anything, like, legally, but come on, send us money. The same thing's happening with the supposed campaign to repeal health reform. It's not a real campaign. It's a fundraising scam. Are Republicans actually going to repeal health reform? No, be honest. It's really not feasible. Numerically, it's pretty much impossible. And politically, what? The country's going to rise up and demand that insurance companies be allowed to cut off our health coverage when we get sick, like they used to? We demand a return to yearly caps on what insurance will pay in benefits. Honestly, it's just not going to happen. But don't tell Mitt Romney's donors that. America has been taken down the wrong path by President Obama and the Democrats in Congress, which is why it's critical we elect fiscally responsible conservative leaders in November who will repeal this bill. I'm writing to you today to announce a new initiative at my Free and Strong America PAC called Prescription for Repeal. Will you stand with me in this effort with a generous contribution of $25, $50, $100, $250, $500, $1,000, $2,500, or even the maximum $5,000? John McCain's pulling the same scam. I assure you I am not quitting our fight. I believe we must repeal this bill immediately. I am currently working in every way possible on your behalf to accomplish this. However, I am facing a tough re-election campaign. That's why your immediate donation of any amount is so critical. Of course, like any good fundraising letter, there's always a PS where they ask the exact same thing again, just with more emphasis. Because, you know, P.S., hey, I forgot to say this again. So the John McCain one has this P.S. P.S., I am working to repeal the bill, but I need your support to continue my service in the U.S. Senate. Your immediate donation of $25 or more will enable me to continue fighting. Please follow this link to make your urgent donation. Is John McCain, is Mitt Romney going to repeal health reform? No, they're not. They're really, really not. But they are going to wring every last cent they can out of anyone dumb enough to believe that they might. It's a scam. It's a scam that's been done before, too. In the 2004 election, you might remember that Republicans and conservatives pushed a lot of anti-gay marriage initiatives onto state ballots. The idea was that those initiatives would motivate a lot of conservatives to turn out and vote. President Bush also during that campaign came out for a federal constitutional amendment banning gay marriage. It was a centerpiece of his re-election campaign in 2004.
A constitutional amendment should never be undertaken lightly. Yet to defend marriage, our nation has no other choice.
Re-elect George Bush. He'll get us a constitutional amendment protecting us from the gays.
Now people say, why the constitutional amendment? And the reason why is because I am concerned that law on the book will be overturned by the courts.
George W. Bush used this constitutional amendment promise not only to beat up on his opponent and to thrill conservative crowds. He used the anti-gay marriage constitutional amendment promise to raise a lot of money. Support George Bush. He'll change the Constitution to protect us from the gays and their rights. And then right after the election, he didn't do anything about it at all. I remember the Washington Post wrote about this in 2006. Bush, whose opposition to marriage between gay partners helped power him to re-election in 2004, has remained largely silent on the issue since, much to the consternation of conservatives who complain he has not exerted leadership. Now, with midterm elections approaching, he is returning to a topic that galvanizes an important part of the Republican base. Galvanizes as in fleeces. Now that election time is coming up, time to drag out this old thing we're not really going to work on again. It's a scam. It's a political scam. It's a constitutional amendment on gay marriage. It's a repeal of health reform. It's an Orly Tates-approved lawsuit against the foreign pretender president to stop health reform. These are scams. These are fake political stunts designed not to change anything in actual policy, but to separate gullible, afraid, overexcited people from their money. And now I'm a scam, too. Senator Scott Brown of Massachusetts telling would-be donors around the country that I'm running against him for Senate in Massachusetts. So they need to send him money urgently to defeat me, who's not actually running for anything. I really don't want to be some Republican politician's scam. Thank you very much. My new effort to get him to stop fake campaigning against me and stop trying to scam people out of money by doing so is next. This is the front page of yesterday's Boston Herald. Do we have that? A big picture of Scott Brown, and the text says, gleeful Dems, shaken Republicans ask, where is he now? Backers fear Scott Brown has lost luster with passage of health reform. Ouch. Evidently, the freshman senator from Massachusetts needs someone on his side if he's lost even the Herald. In that spirit, to aid in his fake campaign against me for Senate, the Rachel Maddow Show crack production staff offers him this.
Far left-wing pundit Rachel Maddow claims she's not running for Senate in Massachusetts against Scott Brown.
I have the best job in the world. I'm not running for office. I made clear, on TV even, that I am not running. I never said I was running. The Democratic Party in Massachusetts never asked me to run. I'm not running.
So, which is it, Rachel? How long do you intend to duck this issue? Or is the Massachusetts Democratic machine forcing your silence? If she's flip-flopping now, imagine her as your senator. And if Rachel Maddow is really not running for Senate, how do you explain this? Senator Scott Brown knows where he stands, and he's not afraid to follow up on any ridiculous, wafer-thin internet rumor to raise money. I mean, to defend the people of Massachusetts. Scott Brown, he'll run against Rachel Maddow before she runs against him.
I hope that helps, Mr. Senator. I hope that helps.